Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Built Not Given Show. I'm your host, Jake Strickland, and today I'm back. It's been 2 weeks. It's been a busy 2 weeks. A lot of stuff has happened, business wise, personal wise, pretty much everything wise. Um, but as you can tell, I'm in a new studio. Finally got this kind of close to how I want it. I might make a few changes here or there, so it might change over the next few weeks, but we'll see. But for now, this is where we're at, and hopefully the audio's a little better. I don't know. I still got to tweak it a little bit. Not 100% sure what I'm doing on that spectrum. But anyway, let's get right into it. I was gonna do an episode, and then I decided I wasn't gonna do that one, and I was gonna come in hard hitting today. No, I'm not gonna yell at you. I'm actually just gonna be a little different. I've talked about it before, but it runs alongside of anxiety and stuff like that. But it's the dissociation, the derealization, and the depersonalization. You might be thinking to yourself, "Oh, I've never experienced any of that," but I guarantee you have. Maybe not the depersonalization or the derealization. That comes a little bit more in depth, but I guarantee you've dissociated. I mean, we've driven under a stop sign or not stop sign, a red light, and think, "Oh, was that green when we went through? Was that red?" And yeah, that's dissociation. And I think there's a statistic like 95% of people will have some sort of dissociation state in their life. Um, Happens a lot more when you're younger, but I mean, as you get older too, you start to forget things. Things just run together. But anyway, needless to say, that's what I'm going to talk about today. Um, I'm gonna start out with dissociation, so don't run away yet. I I went ahead and over the past couple weeks, I knew I was going to be doing this, and I went on a deep dive, went through Reddit and all these different places, and I pulled some different quotes from different people on their experience with dissociation, and I'm also going to share a little bit of mine. But number one, I feel disconnected from everything around me, or it feels like I'm on autopilot. Hours go by and I don't remember much of them, and I feel detached from what's going on. Or I can function, but I don't feel present. That's a big one. That's a big one for me. Is I can function, but I don't feel present. Like I'm in a room and I'm not really in that room, or I'm driving, I'm not actually driving. And like I said, hours go by, and you look back and think, "Wow, I don't even remember the past couple hours." But that happens for everybody. So it's not you're not crazy. It's not normal. I mean, it's a very normal thing. Everybody has it. Everybody goes through it. But it can be a little frustrating because again, hours go by, you don't realize you're doing it, and those times, I flash back into my childhood. I'm pretty sure I dissociated a lot of it because I have those core memories, but other than that, I don't really have too much. Now, my brother, on the other hand, he remembers everything. Pretty sure he remembers coming out of the womb, which if he does, I'm sure he's scarred because that's got to be a terrible sight. Um, I don't know why I said that, but anyway, dissociation is a thing everybody feels. It runs a lot along anxiety, and as I've talked about before, pretty much everybody has a form of anxiety. And I like to believe that I don't have much anxiety, but the truth is I do because the derealization, dissociation, depersonalization, that's my form. That's the form of anxiety I have. I don't have the panic attacks. I don't have the questioning in every decision. What I have is walking into a room or being in the middle of a conversation with somebody and realizing I, this isn't even me. It's like I'm watching this happen through some bird's eye view. Like I'm inside, like I'm behind my eyes and I'm watching it happen. That's my form. And if that's your form, God, I feel sorry for you. And it sucks. But it does get better. It does get a little bit easier when you recognize that that's what it is. Um, but derealization, we'll go over that now. It feels like I'm having a dream. Everything looks fake. The world feels two dimensional. That's a lot of that's what I do deal with a lot of the times is like I said, I'm in that room and I'm having these conversations with these people and it doesn't feel like I'm actually real. I'll flash back to a time I had a client. I went to their funeral, not their funeral, but a funeral with them. They asked me to go, so I did. And as I was walking through that room, I realized that this didn't feel real. And I wasn't taller than anybody. I'm not a very tall guy. I'm like 5'9", 5'10", and I tell people that way they don't think I'm 6 foot. The truth is, I don't even know how tall I am. But that's like closest time, like one of the more major times that I've dealt with that is I was walking through that viewing room, and there's all these different people, and I felt like I was 10 feet tall, and not in a good way. It's like I was looking down on myself watching me walk through this room. And I don't know why I did that. I don't know what the I'm sure there's some sort of something that does that. I just didn't dive deep into it. That's just my experience. That was one of my experiences with it. But occasionally the world could feel like a movie set. You're trapped in a video game. The world looks normal, but it doesn't feel normal. That's another thing. I hope some of this, I hope it doesn't. I hope this is like a foreign, I hope I'm speaking a foreign language to you. But if I'm not, I do feel sorry. But it's normal, and you're not crazy. Is something a lot of people go through. Depersonalization. In my opinion, this is one of the more major ones. This is the one that people, when you deal with that, it can really truly affect you. Um, I don't feel like myself. I feel disconnected from my own body. My voice doesn't sound like mine. I know that's me in the mirror, but it doesn't feel like me. It's like I'm controlling my body from a distance. If you've never felt that, good. Um, it's an eerie feeling when you don't feel like you're yourself. You it's kind of right in line with that dissociation and the depersonalization. In my opinion, they kind of feel sort of not the same, but they come together and form the depersonalization. And when you have this depersonalization, it can stick around for a long time. Like you can wake up every day for months and months and months and not feel like yourself. You can wake up and go brush your teeth and it feels like you're brushing a stranger's teeth. You don't even know how you're operating your hand. It's just like your subconscious mind is doing it, and nothing feels real. Nothing feels like it's you. That's a form of anxiety, and that's one of the forms of anxiety that I have dealt with. Some of the fears that people some of the fears is also something that I looked at, and fears that people are like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Some of those were, "Am I crazy? What if I'm stuck like this forever? What if I'm alone? What if nobody else feels this? What if there's seriously something wrong with my brain?" Those list of questions right there are my question. Those are questions that I've asked myself over the years. When I've dealt with these things, I've asked them all. Sometimes I'm like, I don't think that this is normal. I know that if there's somebody else out there that's dealing with this, I don't know where they're at, and I don't think that's real. I think I'm the only one in the world that's going through this, and that's the trap because you know it's not. You know it's not just you. You know if you feel something, 9 times out of 10, there is somebody actively feeling that. And we know that because people it's way easier to look on social media and feel that now. But no, during the time that I was like truly, truly struggling with it, it was the middle school era, and that was I don't even know how old whatever age I was, and I didn't have the thought to go on social media or do these different things, talk to these different people. I didn't have the thought to do that, so it wasn't. It was more or less like I was going through it alone, but I wasn't. I had a counselor, like I've mentioned before. He's the reason behind all the owls. I don't know if I have any up here. Um, but I got an owl tattoo on my chest. That was for him. He passed away during COVID, and he helped me a lot through that because he helped me realize what it was. He helped me realize that I'm not crazy, that this is a normal thing. And I'm very grateful that I had somebody in my life that knew has very experienced with that. Because I don't believe right now there's a ton of people out there that are. I don't know that all psychiatrists, not psychiatrists, counselors, psychologists. I don't know that every single one of them is experienced in that realm. Because I do believe you have to experience it for yourself to truly understand it and truly know what it feels like in another person's shoes and be able to diagnose it. I don't really believe in diagnosis. I think it's just part of what we are. Um, and we can either sit back and accept it or what we can do with it. And that's another thing that I was going to talk about. Or not that I am going to talk about. What have I done to help in that? I'm going to start with a little bit of an outside one, so to speak, like something that may or may not be normal way to do it, but it's something that helped me, and that's lucid dreaming. If you're not familiar with what lucid dreaming is, it's basically you are aware that you're in that dream state and you're makeshift, not even makeshift, and you're just aware that you're in a dream state. And the longer you do it, the easier it gets to stay in that dream and make that dream what you want it to be, all those different things. And doing that helped me become comfortable in that bird's eye view that I would occasionally just get sucked into. Because in my opinion, whenever you lucid dream, the feeling of knowing that you're in a dream and none of this is actually real, recognizing that helped me tremendously in recognizing that I wasn't actually in a dream and that this is real. I'm just my something in my brain is not connected at the current moment, and it will be reconnected. It will come back together. That helped me tremendously. Now it didn't solve the problem because I still have it. I mean, it's still something I deal with occasionally, but it's not a thing anymore. If that makes sense, it's not something that I worry about. It's not something that scares me. It's not something that I wake up and like, oh my God, what's going on? Because if I wake up and I look in the mirror and I realize, oh, this feels like I'm in a third party. I feel like I'm in a bird's eye view looking through my eyes, but I'm not actually me. I recognize that I'm like, hey, okay, I'm dissociating right now, or I'm going through a spell of derealization, or whatever. I'm okay being in it. I recognize what it is. I recognize that it's not going to be here forever. I recognize that it is just a feeling, and none of it actually matters. That right there was the single most thing that helped me tremendously. Like that's what helped. That's what solved it for me. Like I said, it's still there, but that right there has made it so much easier. And the funny thing is, that right there translates directly into pretty much every aspect of your life. If you're going through something, whether it be depression, anxiety, going through something at work, that mindset shift of recognizing that, hey, I'm in this right now. This sucks. This isn't fun. This is not something good. I do not wake up every day and hope that this is what happens, but it's happening and it's okay. It's a thing. It's going to go away. But that's not to say that you shouldn't actively try to get out of it. If you're in a spell of depression, maybe try going to the gym, get your food right, you starting eating right. Anxiety. Try to figure out what your triggers are. Try to figure out what sends you down that spiral. Is it everything? And if so, then well, start small. Knock off one, put down one pin, then another, then another, then another. Life isn't like bowling. You have more than one chance to get 10 pins down. And I think that, I don't know. I get really passionate about that. And it's hard to put into words, truthfully. And I wish I was a little bit more educated on it than I am. And I do like to think that I know a little bit about it just because I have done the research and I've been through it personally. But there's an entire world of unknowns when it comes to that. Why we do it. Is it a trauma response? Is it a fear response? Is it because of anxiety? I think it's a mixture of pretty much everything all together. But I do believe that had that mindset shift of recognizing that that is what it is will help you tremendously. It's not going to solve the problem, like I said, because the problem, I do believe the problem's going to be around forever. I think if you have dissociation, like if you go through spells like that, if you go through derealization or depersonalization, I think that there's going to be a time in your life where it might stop for a while. Like I might not deal with it for 3 months and then it just randomly comes back. Like the funeral thing that happened 4 months ago. No, it's longer than that. It's probably like 6 months ago, and I haven't had like a big major like notable spell of that ever since. Now I've had a few here and there's, but nothing crazy. Bowling alley. I was walking through a bowling alley the other day. It was raining outside. I was hanging out with some friends. Um, and I'd walked away to use the restroom before I left. And as I walked through the door, like I opened up the doors to walk through, and then I got hit with that sudden wave of like, oh my God, this isn't real. This isn't me. What's going on? And I'm like, okay, it's fine. I kept walking, went to the bathroom, splashed some water on my face, and boom, I'm pulled right back into it. I'm right back into my body. It was a thing. I mean, it's not. That's not to say that it doesn't freak me out when it happens because it does, but it's not a thing anymore. It's kind of like my spells of depression. I still go through them. Like I do believe it's something that's part of me now. I've dealt with it the majority of my life. I do believe that for the rest of my life, I'm going to have the spells of it. But when I'm in it, I recognize that it's not going to last forever, that I will come out of it, and I don't change anything. I know that's not easy to say, but it's that mindset shift, and I just keep. I know I'm repeating. This whole episode's been about pretty much repeating itself, but I do believe that that mindset shift of recognizing that, hey, I am depressed right now. I do not want to get out of bed. I don't want to do anything. Recognizing that you're going through that and accepting it knocks it away. It makes it. It doesn't make it as whatever. It doesn't make it as big as it is. And again, not to say that you shouldn't try to get out of it. You know, when I get into depression episodes, I do try to focus a little bit more on what I do throughout my day. Am I eating right? Am I doing the right things? What am I doing to what did I do to get myself into this position? And sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes I'm doing everything right and I'm just here. And that's okay because it is what it is. It's just part of it. It's part of life. And if we dwell on it too much, if we think, oh, something's wrong with us, this is not right, this is not good, if we dwell on it, the problem just compounds over and over and over again. You know, real estate, 'cause that's what I'm in. I believe the reason that terminations come in bunches, and by terminations, I mean when a contract falls through, is like say I've got a client, I'm representing them as a buyer, and something happens with that inspection, and then we can't come to the terms, we can't figure it out, and it's not a good thing for my buyer, deal terminates. And in a realtor's shoes, that does suck, because it might have been 6 months of work to get these people to get my clients under contract to help these people help them find a home, and then it falls through. That can be a very frustrating thing, and I'll say it because I'm sure you're thinking it money wise too. Yes, it's frustrating because we spent 6 months of work showing houses. Truth be told, we might have done more than what we're going to get paid, but that's the job. That's part of it. It doesn't matter to me, and the reason that I think they come in bunches is because we dwell on the one that happens, and when we dwell on the one that happens, we're bringing in that negative energy, that termination energy into our business, and then more come, and then another comes, and then another comes. I've noticed that when one comes, two more are more likely to come. Like they just come in threes, and it's crazy, but I swear, and you ask any real estate agent, they're going to say the same thing. They just when one happens, another happens, and it's just part of it. It happens, and recognizing that allows you to step back and realize, hey, it is what it is. We terminated. We're moving on. It wasn't the right house for my client, and this isn't the one for them. So we're gonna go find them another one. That's the key, in my opinion. Again, just keep coming back to the mindset shift. But to kind of end it off, I wrote this down, or I typed it down. But the scariest part for me wasn't the feeling itself. The scariest part was thinking that I was the only person in the world who felt it. And I think it's important to recognize that you're not. And that's with any area. Whether you're struggling in business, whether you're struggling at work, whether you're struggling with your anxiety, whatever you're struggling with, somebody else is too. And it happens. It is what it is. It's just part of it. But I think that's the beauty of life is there is struggles, but there's also the good times. There's the mindset shifts and then recognizing that you made that mindset shift and recognizing that this is never going to be a problem for you again for the rest of your life. This is never going to be an issue. Depression is always going to be in my life, but it's never going to be a problem because I've recognized that it's part of me, and that's okay. And when it comes, I address it and I figure it out. And when the derealization or depersonalization comes, I address it, accept it, and figure it out. Just move forward. There's a movie. No, what? It's not a movie. God, I can't remember where I heard it. I think it was actually at a conference in Vegas for Remax. Um, but it was a guy. He was struggling. He didn't think he could run a little. He didn't think he could run. He was in this race and he didn't think he could make it. He didn't think he could do it. And the person that was there helping him said, "Can you take one more step? Can you take a step?" And he said, "Yeah, okay, let's take a step. Can you take another one?" "Yeah, okay." So he took another one. And then he repeated that until the end of the race. And when he got to the finish line, it just a self realization moment of if you can take one step, take that step. Just one step at a time, foot over foot. And if you have to, act like you're doing the whole little DUI walk thing and like go toe to toe. I hope you don't like. I hope you're good at it. But if you're not, then go ahead and like get a card from a doctor or something. That way, when if you ever, hopefully you don't get tested for DUI, then you can whatchamacallit, show them that card and be like, hey, I don't have any balance. Oh crap, forgot. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't have any script for this episode, so I'm just all over the place. But in my research throughout the years, and this was probably about a year and a half ago, I was uh I was smoking every day weed, and it wasn't like it was a all day thing. It was just at night. Every night I got home, I'd finish what I needed to do, and then I would get in bed, and I would hit the little dab pen and try to fall asleep. That was like my I couldn't sleep during the time. That was like my crutch. So, no, not a crutch. It was just something I did to help me sleep better. And during that time, every single day, I was dealing with the depersonalization, the derealization, the dissociation for like months at a time. And it took me way too longer than it should have. But I recognized that smoking brought out whatever thing in the brain that's not connected or whatever it is that causes it, that the smoking 10 times it, made it 10 times worse, for me at least. Now, there are cases where smoking helps, but for me, in my case, it just made it 10 times worse. So now I can't smoke. It's kind of frustrating. Not really. Whatever. Um, anyway, that was like my last point. I think I might think of something. And if I do, I might save it for next week. Who knows? Anyway, give me your thoughts on live stream. Think about live streaming it. I might start doing that. I'm not 100% sure yet. That was just a idea that popped into my head today. But yeah, y'all let me know. Have a good week.